Introduction: the hidden forces that shape us. We like to believe we understand ourselves. After all, who knows us better than we do? Yet, as Hanson and Simler suggest, our minds are complex arenas where motives, emotions, and strategies collide. And often, we're blind to this battle. The elephant in the brain is a metaphor for the self-serving motives we instinctively hide, even from ourselves. These hidden motivations shape our behavior in profound ways, influencing how we interact with others and the world. Facing the uncomfortable truth. The authors explain that much of human behavior is not guided by the noble principles we claim to value, but by evolutionary strategies designed to maximize survival and reproduction. Altruism, generosity, and morality are often masks for deeper, less flattering motives. This revelation can feel jarring, even painful. But Hanson and Simler argue that confronting these truths is liberating. Imagine looking into a mirror, only to see not just your reflection, but the layers of reasoning behind every action you take. Would it unsettle you? Would it make you question your sense of self? The authors invite readers to embark on this uncomfortable but transformative journey, one that promises greater self-awareness and authenticity. Chapter 1: Introduction to the Elephant in the Brain. The book begins by introducing the metaphorical elephant in the brain, a hidden force that influences much of human behavior. Hanson and Simler argue that many of our actions are driven by unconscious self-interest, even when we convince ourselves otherwise. This elephant represents the uncomfortable truths we prefer to ignore about our motives, particularly in social contexts. The invisible force behind our actions. The authors highlight that human beings are inherently social creatures, and much of what we do is influenced by the need to survive and thrive in complex social environments. However, this doesn't mean our actions are entirely conscious or rational. Often, we act in ways that prioritize self-preservation or social advantage, while cloaking those actions in noble intentions. For example, when someone donates to charity, they might believe they're doing so purely out of altruism. Yet, on closer inspection, their generosity might also serve as a way to gain social approval, signal wealth, or feel good about themselves. The uncomfortable truth. This chapter sets the tone for the rest of the book by addressing the discomfort readers may feel as they confront these hidden motives. It challenges us to look beyond our surface-level justifications and ask, what are we really trying to achieve? The authors draw parallels with evolutionary biology, where many traits and behaviors evolve not for their stated purposes, but for hidden, strategic reasons. Similarly, our brains often work behind the scenes to ensure we achieve social and personal advantages, even if it means deceiving ourselves. Emotional resonance. This chapter is both enlightening and unsettling. It forces readers to confront the idea that they may not know themselves as well as they think. However, Hanson and Simler reassure us that acknowledging these hidden motives isn't a condemnation but an opportunity for self-awareness and growth. Chapter 2: The Elephant's Role in Social Life. In this chapter, the authors delve deeper into why the elephant in the brain exists and how it shapes our interactions with others. They argue that the brain evolved not just for survival in a physical sense, but for success in social environments. To navigate these environments effectively, humans developed sophisticated ways to manage relationships, alliances, and hierarchies. The brain as a social tool. The human brain is a marvel of evolution, but its primary function is not what we often assume. While we might think of the brain as a problem-solving machine, Hanson and Simler suggest that it's more accurately a social tool. Its primary job is to help us navigate the complexities of group dynamics, such as building trust, avoiding conflict, and gaining status. Strategic self-deception. One of the most fascinating concepts introduced in this chapter is strategic self-deception. The authors explain that humans often deceive themselves to better deceive others. For example, if you truly believe that you're helping a friend out of pure kindness, it's easier to convince them and others of your altruism. This self-deception allows us to maintain our reputation while still pursuing self-interested goals. The importance of reputation. Reputation is a critical currency in social life. Our actions are often guided by how they will be perceived by others, even if we aren't consciously aware of it. For instance, people may spend hours crafting the perfect social media post, not just to share information, but to project a certain image of themselves, whether it's as intelligent, caring, or successful. The emotional impact. This chapter resonates on an emotional level, as it reveals how deeply ingrained our need for social acceptance is. It can be humbling to realize that much of our behavior is driven by the desire to maintain or enhance our social standing. However, this insight also empowers us to examine our motives more critically and strive for authenticity in our interactions. Chapter 3: Hidden Motives in Daily Life. This chapter takes the abstract concepts introduced earlier and applies them to everyday scenarios. Hanson and Simler explore how hidden motives play out in various aspects of life, from casual conversations to professional settings. Everyday deceptions. The authors provide relatable examples of hidden motives in daily interactions. For instance, small talk. While we might say we engage in small talk to build connections, it often serves as a way to signal friendliness, intelligence, or social status. Gift giving. Gifts are rarely purely altruistic. They often come with expectations, whether it's reciprocity, gratitude, or admiration. Workplace behavior. In professional settings, people often go beyond their job descriptions, not just to contribute to the team, but to signal competence and ambition to their superiors. The role of gossip. Gossip is another fascinating area the authors explore. While gossip is often dismissed as frivolous or mean-spirited, it serves an important social function. By sharing information about others, we build alliances, reinforce group norms, and signal our own moral values. For example, criticizing someone's unethical behavior can subtly position us as virtuous and trustworthy. The painful truths. Recognizing these hidden motives can be uncomfortable because it challenges the narratives we tell ourselves about our goodness and integrity. However, the authors emphasize that these motives are not inherently bad. They are simply part of what it means to be human. A new perspective. By uncovering these hidden motives, we can approach our daily interactions with greater honesty and self-awareness. This doesn't mean abandoning social norms or strategies, but understanding them so we can navigate them more effectively. Chapter 4: The Logic of Self-Deception. In this chapter, Hanson and Simler dive into the mechanics of self-deception, how and why we deceive ourselves. They argue that self-deception is an evolutionary adaptation that allows us to navigate complex social environments more effectively. Why self-deception exists. The authors explain that self-deception serves as a defense mechanism. If we can convince ourselves that our motives are pure, we can more convincingly project that image to others. For example, a politician who truly believes in their campaign promises is more likely to persuade voters than one who is cynically aware of their own self-interest. The layers of deception. Self-deception operates on multiple levels. 1. Conscious rationalizations. These are the justifications we come up with to explain our actions in a way that aligns with social norms. 2. Unconscious biases. These are deeper, automatic processes that shape our behavior without our awareness. For instance, someone might unconsciously favor friends or family in professional decisions while outwardly insisting they are being objective and fair. The cost of self-deception. While self-deception has benefits, it also comes with costs. It can prevent us from truly understanding ourselves and limit our ability to grow. Moreover, it can lead to hypocrisy and conflict when our actions don't align with our stated values. The emotional weight. This chapter is particularly powerful because it forces readers to confront their own blind spots. It's not easy to admit that we might not be as honest or noble as we think. Yet, Hanson and Simler remind us that self-deception is a universal trait, not a personal failing. By acknowledging it, we can take steps toward greater self-awareness and authenticity. Chapter 5. Education as a Signal. Education is commonly understood as a means to gain knowledge and develop skills for future success. However, Hanson and Simler challenge this perception by presenting a controversial perspective. Education is less about learning and more about signaling. They argue that schools and universities primarily serve as platforms for individuals to demonstrate qualities like intelligence, diligence, and conformity, which are desirable in the workplace and society. Signaling versus learning. The authors introduce the concept of signaling theory, which posits that many human behaviors are not about the stated objective, but about showcasing traits to others. A degree, for example, signals 3 key traits. 1. Intelligence. Completing rigorous coursework suggests cognitive capability. 2. Conformity. Following societal norms and rules reflects adaptability and obedience. 3. Diligence. Putting in years of effort indicates perseverance and work ethic. Hanson and Simler argue that while the pursuit of education does involve learning, much of the knowledge acquired is never directly applied in real-world scenarios. For example, most people do not use advanced calculus or medieval history in their daily lives or professions. Yet, these subjects remain integral to curriculums because they serve as difficult hurdles that only motivated and capable individuals can overcome. The costly signals of education. Education is a costly signal, both in terms of time and money. Only those who are sufficiently motivated, intelligent, and privileged can navigate its demands. This exclusivity makes education an effective way to sort people into social and economic hierarchies. For instance, a degree from a prestigious institution like Harvard signals not just academic competence, but also social capital and privilege. The emotional consequences. This chapter is particularly thought-provoking as it touches on the emotional struggles tied to education. Many people experience burnout, financial stress, and self-doubt while pursuing degrees, believing that the knowledge they acquire will directly lead to success. When confronted with the idea that their hard work is more about signaling than substance, it can feel disheartening. However, the authors suggest that understanding this reality can help people make more informed choices about their educational paths. A call to rethink education. Hanson and Simler conclude the chapter by questioning the efficiency of education systems. They suggest that society could benefit from rethinking how we measure and reward competence, focusing more on practical skills and less on symbolic credentials. Chapter 6. The Truth About Charity. Charity is often regarded as a pure altruistic act, motivated by genuine concern for others. However, Hanson and Simler argue that charitable behavior is frequently influenced by hidden motives, such as enhancing one's reputation, signaling wealth, or fostering social alliances. Why we give. The authors highlight that people often donate to charities that provide little tangible benefit to the world, but offer significant social recognition. For example, contributing to high-profile causes or attending lavish fundraising galas may have less to do with helping others and more to do with signaling generosity, wealth, and moral virtue to peers. They provide examples of inefficient charity practices, such as donating to organizations that spend more on marketing and administration than on actual aid. Despite this inefficiency, people continue to support these charities because of the social rewards attached to visible giving. the public nature of giving. The effectiveness of charity as a signal depends on its visibility. Anonymous donations, while noble, lack the social recognition that public acts of giving provide. For instance, naming rights for buildings or public acknowledgement at events amplify the donor's social prestige. The emotional paradox of generosity. This chapter dives deep into the emotional complexity of giving. On one hand, many people genuinely care about making a difference and feel a sense of fulfillment when they help others. On the other hand, the realization that charity can be driven by self-serving motives might lead to guilt or disillusionment. Hanson and Simler suggest that recognizing this duality does not diminish the value of generosity, but allows us to act with greater awareness and authenticity. A path to authentic giving. The authors propose that by understanding our hidden motives, we can align our charitable actions with our true values. Instead of seeking external validation, we can focus on making a meaningful impact, whether through targeted donations, volunteering, or supporting causes that resonate deeply with us. Chapter 7. The Theater of Politics. Politics is often portrayed as a noble pursuit of justice, equality, and progress. Yet, Hanson and Simler argue that much of political behavior is driven by self-interest and tribalism. This chapter explores how politics serves as a stage for individuals and groups to signal loyalty, power, and identity. The role of tribalism. Humans are inherently tribal. From an evolutionary perspective, belonging to a group was essential for survival. Today, political parties and ideologies fulfill this tribal need, offering a sense of identity and belonging. By aligning with a political group, individuals signal their values, beliefs, and social alliances. The authors illustrate this concept with examples of partisan behavior. For instance, people often support policies not because they've carefully analyzed their merits, but because the policies align with their group's stance. This us versus them mentality fuels polarization as individuals prioritize loyalty to their tribe over objective reasoning. The emotional appeal of politics. Politics is deeply emotional as it touches on core human needs like security, fairness, and belonging. Campaigns and speeches often rely on emotional appeals rather than rational arguments to rally support. For example, a politician might evoke fear of an external threat or hope for a brighter future to galvanize their base. The power of virtue signaling. One of the most striking insights in this chapter is the role of virtue signaling in political discourse. Publicly endorsing causes, sharing politically charged posts on social media, or participating in protests often serves as a way to signal moral superiority and group loyalty. The cynicism of politics. This chapter may evoke mixed emotions in readers. On one hand, it sheds light on the strategic and performative aspects of politics, prompting skepticism about leaders and institutions. On the other hand, it encourages introspection about our own political behavior. Are we genuinely advocating for change, or are we seeking validation and acceptance from our peers? A hopeful perspective. Despite its critical tone, the chapter ends on a hopeful note. By acknowledging the hidden motives behind political behavior, individuals can strive for greater authenticity and engage in politics with a focus on meaningful change rather than performative loyalty. Chapter 8. Art, Religion, and Human Connection. Art and religion are often seen as expressions of beauty, creativity, and spirituality. However, Hanson and Simler argue that they also serve as powerful social signals, communicating values, identity, and commitment. Art as a signal artistic endeavors showcase creativity, intelligence, and cultural sophistication. Whether it's painting, music, or literature, art signals the creator's skills and the consumer's taste. For instance, owning a piece of fine art or attending an opera performance signals wealth and cultural capital. The authors also explore how art fosters social bonds. Shared appreciation for certain art forms or artists can create a sense of community and belonging. For example, fandoms around musicians or filmmakers often serve as tribes that unite individuals with similar tastes and values. Religion, as a social glue religion, like art, transcends its signaling function to foster deep human connections. Religious rituals and practices demonstrate devotion, discipline, and shared values. For instance, fasting during Ramadan or attending Sunday services signals commitment to one's faith and community. The emotional depth of art and religion. This chapter resonates on an emotional level by highlighting the profound impact of art and religion on human experience. Both provide meaning, inspiration, and solace, even as they serve practical social functions. Hanson and Simler celebrate these aspects, reminding readers that understanding hidden motives doesn't diminish the beauty or power of these institutions. Finding connection. Beyond signals, the authors conclude by encouraging readers to engage with art and religion in ways that foster genuine connection and self-expression. By recognizing the social dynamics at play, individuals can approach these experiences with greater authenticity and depth. Conclusion. Embracing the elephant within Robin Hanson and Kevin Simler's The Elephant in the Brain closes with a profound challenge: to face our hidden motives with courage and honesty. The journey through the book reveals that much of what we do, say, and believe is driven not by the noble ideals we profess, but by subconscious forces seeking personal and social advantage. This truth may be uncomfortable, even painful, but it also holds the key to greater self-awareness and freedom. The power of self-awareness. Understanding the elephant in the brain doesn't mean we are doomed to be deceitful or selfish creatures. Rather, it offers us a unique opportunity to step out of the shadows of self-deception. By becoming aware of our hidden motives, we can take control of our actions, align them more closely with our values, and build more authentic relationships with others. For example, knowing that our acts of kindness might carry a subconscious desire for recognition doesn't diminish the kindness itself. Instead, it allows us to consciously choose generosity for its own sake, free from the need for external validation. Awareness transforms what might have been manipulative into something genuinely meaningful. Compassion for ourselves and others. The authors encourage readers not to judge themselves too harshly for the hidden motives uncovered throughout the book. Self-deception is not a personal failing. It's a universal human trait shaped by millions of years of evolution. Recognizing this can foster a sense of compassion for ourselves and others. We are all navigating the complexities of social life, trying to balance self-interest with cooperation, survival with morality. This realization can lead to more empathy in our interactions. When we see someone acting in ways that seem hypocritical or self-serving, we can remember that they too are grappling with their own elephant. Understanding the commonality of hidden motives can pave the way for greater forgiveness and connection. Living with the elephant. The authors do not suggest that we can, or should, completely eliminate our hidden motives. After all, they are part of what makes us human. Instead, they advocate for a balance, acknowledging the elephant in the brain while striving to rise above it when it matters most. This means being honest with ourselves about why we do what we do and choosing actions that reflect our best intentions, even when the subconscious whispers otherwise. A call to authenticity. The ultimate message of The Elephant in the Brain is one of liberation. By confronting our hidden motives, we free ourselves from the need to constantly rationalize or justify our actions. We can live more authentically, guided by a deeper understanding of ourselves. This authenticity not only enriches our own lives, but also inspires trust and respect in those around us. The authors leave us with a powerful question. What kind of person do you want to be when you see yourself clearly? The answer lies in our willingness to embrace the elephant, not as an enemy to be conquered, but as a part of ourselves to be understood and integrated. Closing reflection. The journey through this book is not easy, but it is deeply rewarding. It challenges us to peel back the layers of our own minds, to confront truths we might prefer to ignore, and to emerge stronger and wiser for having done so. Hanson and Simler have given us a gift, not the comfort of simple answers, but the empowerment of deeper insight. The elephant in the brain will always be there, but with awareness and courage, we can learn to live in harmony with it, crafting lives of greater integrity, empathy, and meaning. I hope you liked this book summary. For more such book summaries, please like, share, and comment on my video. And don't forget to subscribe to my channel. Thanks a lot for watching this video. Bye-bye. See you soon.